So before we continue with the next part of awe, I'd like to just ask if there are any questions about what awe is, because I think there might be some confusion in the translation. Over lunch, Karma told me that the word that was used to translate awe sometimes also is about sadness.
Tanda tangi jura, tangi kema lady kiranzu, the dunga the dindina like you, the simple joy of suya, kema lady piju chiguro like those, and the tangi the tis and the all lady doctor rose chagmundus.
And the way that Western scientists are defining awe, there is no sadness. The experience of awe is actually a very, very positive one. There's really no negativity to it.
Chizan tanda semsur all age do, dinalata, do a shadow Laura, the chair, maris cure lejura. Didn't reach you, Maris. Oh, Marie, take the came along that Tanda, and so no, all lash door. The any Tanda simple cure that didn't the cheer you, Maris, Yawa Kangaris. And the Gageta, the Simsur Gageta Chetanashi, and some little the George Jura, the Laguras, Yaga Chalkish, res. The cure another do rose chayuras, did you, Maris. Same cure alleged line bar. So this term does not apply to all, right? The term, because this term they said like they also use it in sadness.
Right. Yes.
So
yeah.
this one.
It doesn't. Yeah. It's tricky. Karma told me that who did the translation that there really is no direct translation.
Yeni kama gila sons di tathangi takta juo ina ra tanda all adi yo maris la sons. The dile nyesho rosh dile randi shashares.
So maybe to kind of help describe it, historically, awe, prior to the scientists actually studying it, awe was often related to kind of a religious, spiritual experience.
All ash da, tanda di kharil lagir na, tanda chodan de nyongwa jura, dile jagyu res.
So oftentimes people will have that experience, kind of a spiritual experience, where they feel their consciousness expanding and they feel one with the universe, or maybe they have some other kind of metaphysical experience they really can't explain.
The deshi gyama tu anyongwa den liyo ros susu jigding hamda den del tawe kapsu samlo lanare lo lanare didan tewe nyongwa jura deshi gyatu khapu chagi ros tila.
And oftentimes, when awe was looked at in this way historically, that kind of experience was actually very frightening for people. For some people, not for all, but for some people, they found it very scary to have that kind of spiritual, expansive experience.
The samlo da de da nyongwa jiyorlani nyama imba na dindi shiyorla ra dila de mi khashela kharirla one di nyongwa digi shinang ke ro da dindi yungu res sangmala maris khashela shinang ki yoresti.
And then a couple of hundred years ago, there was a Western philosopher who secularized awe, so kind of took it out of the religious spiritual experience and said that, we can also have this feeling of expansion by looking at nature or in other ways that we'll talk about.
Tanda chue da samlo da dinde deves nyongwa jura di rang la spiritual lan tanda sem da samlo do chue ro shi yura di da lo so ni sangma la khabe yu di thangi shdo all di peju chi chog ro as jar chog ro as lan shi res krangi di la du su su gya kyo soya da an ta na shi samlo juwa ta dinan jar yu res.
So when the scientists started looking at awe about 5 years ago, they chose to focus on the secular aspect of awe, even though they fully acknowledge that spiritual experiences can give that sense of awe as well, that sense of expansion that really shifts how you view the world. So I'm just curious to hear from all of you, is there a word or an experience that, or I guess a term, a word that they would use that would describe that kind of spiritual experience of expansion of consciousness and that shifts how you view yourself in the world?
Tanda Quran so semsor all the dishi yadansh do so tanda kunzu imbaina khashi chhe da deni shigur lara nyema imbande di khande ji lagol lana nyongwa di so nyongwa di tanda semso de kyage draw che ra so di kyage draw che thana shi ani samlo lo gyo dwe jo ra di keni di ni ga chugi ras dende la khiran zu na la thange dende yor wela sti semso di dende semso ji so aina an dende ji lag res la jo ra semso de ming do yor res ming do ta yor res nyongwa jora dila kibo dubulan yora dinan shi thanda di chowash to dilani thange do yores kibu dume thas nge pesu shai tende ro yora ming ta chowa khashi kibu la re dubu la yora dinan shi thanda chowa shdo kya kero do da ni samlo jo da jo do jora dila la go marta thanda tishi gyasa tishi ye jo goche se ta undi dewa na chugo re thanda samlo jo do na dewa na chugo re ani dewa len ta on dilai dewa len gya chimbu ro thanda di chowa shdo kya kero do da samlo jo do shdo di chowa di thanda nyongwa jora dilani thangi shte oina ming do yor we la kiran so the thangi yore thingdu thingmundu sa no we can't think of any such word.
No such word. Okay. So I'm just trying to. I'll just ask one more question, try to see because see if there's some sort of correlated term. So the idea with is to expand your consciousness to enlightenment. Is that sort of, and then along the way, as you go towards enlightenment, do you have certain kinds of experiences that are more consciousness expanding? Would that work?
The lana disarrelas. That and the samlo juur lara, samlo juur doni khali tanda khalorta chanju simbe koban laura ditove par gurim do jura, nyoma damidalira, dila ani kiranzu tanda samlo gyaki walan shigura, dindejik lawa na ani kensu thangi shadu service. Ta sheba di gyaki ro draw dinde doji shaw inasa. Dila ni semso doji thangi ro shadu service. Khandijil lagwe me. Samlo juata anjela sange koban thobe jora di parata khachugure sheba di kya kya ro shigura sthane samlo jo du chigura sti nyoma mindo ligura dila khari pangi ur lago marda di semsor jora dila ming khari ure lagor khari lamshuk lana semsur na lazo ming dogdo tagyo ngocha kibo dugbo lan yora tende na shi ani dila ming yor wela or tanda di sowa dila tingmende semsur chi lido tanda gekero doya da samlo jo doya dila
ni khardan loga nambi chima la khani daji thungro daji thungbe kapsla kira daji khadi thungro semgi nebo khande chigla ani kira yob kapsla ani daji thungro dila yamni do kira lama yob kapsla ani khari ne jik phama the kapsla khari ne jik la dila ani daji thungro chig do tega na ida samnu sheba chig ta na ani ngembe chori chig yor ta dugu sho china ya daji thungro daji thungro kapsla ani samnu ki nebo big na lo ne ngembe dik nu pa piwe ki ani kharcha yor sla bi mena chima thungro ki ani kapsla kira samnu ki ani ne dan yor wa o di samnu ne dan la or da ko ki kema do chig cheba sha ko dina gawa de de gawa ki ko de na gawa ki ko mare ta la sun sang gawa Kimare kebal de de na sini gawa ji ko thai shawar na di gawa de chibu chawo ma ta gawe ki cha yor da ina ya ta di sang da nge na ro ne ani sang ki so ki ko da konju ki da di thani di pheju chi yu so ta Dindegi and that's so I think it's a mix of feelings and from our point of view there are different mental states and if we listen to your kind of explanation about what wow is from the Western perspective, then maybe it is a kind of a combination of few mental states that we categorize. For example, if there is a component of Gawa is a feeling of gratitude, and then also when the Tibetan term that we use it is actually an expression of a mental state.
Oh,
And
okay.
that mental state it has the characteristics of expanding, of deep emotion states, but it can of both positive and negative components. Sometimes
it.
if you see your teacher or
Right.
your parents, you can have that kind of our state, mental
Mhm.
state, but that time we can categorize them to the positive. You have that expression because of the positive experiences that you are having at that particular time. But also, if you, especially when you see that electrocuted monkey, I'm trying to say, they said they have goosebumps, right?
Mhm.
So at that time, they are also, from our point of view, it is also a kind of a mental state that can make you say kema, or has this
Expression.
same as kind of components that you have described in the wow state.
Oh, interesting.
So from us as adult, and now I'm telling them that like if you remove the negative parts,
Right.
then that is what they meant in
Got
that
it.
traditions.
Okay, great. Okay, all right. Thank you very much for the view. Okay, great, good. All right. Okay, good. So yes, so all positive. All is positive.
Ta thanda all le dina changma yaga kyang su de rest.
Okay. So, sorry, it's not working. Okay, so the question is, so researchers wanted to know, is awe actually a universal experience? Do all human beings all over the world have the experience of awe?
Ta thanda all le simsur jida. Di ani mi changme nyong thuye gi da simsur ji reves lan di thiwa di li res.
And some of the things that they found that actually cultivate awe or generate awe within us are things like nature, like we saw in the video, so beautiful nature.
Thanda all le simsur ke da. Chi khari gyuni ngur lawa na manzu rangjung kham den ta de manzu thanda yin longin di ta ro rangjung kham kyang atun sa di ta du di ge ani thanda simsur all le di ki res.
So art can also generate awe within ourselves.
Thana shi gyuzel da de ra da rimu da khari na dige changma gi yang azu simsur khari ki gyur lawa na midiri ge nang la all le simsur di ki res.
As well as people. You had mentioned your teacher. So kind of this idea of these amazing people who have done these incredible things with their lives can really induce awe in us as well.
Thani shi susu mizena mi khari khechim bu chagyo me dil taniya semsor thanda all edi kya kiram pezun chik shaim bas susu gigen tudre chyo kapso ani ye semsor dili yorwas.
Okay. And then also this idea of grand ideas.
Thani shi samju din zoda chugyo yorwas chik.
So a lot of times when people think about outer space, what is outer space? Thinking about how vast it is and how incredible that can also induce a sense of awe.
Thani shi ani ngazoda panang da dindu kor chik ding kham keje shi rastila du da khakas chimbu yerlani hangsan rosli da di sama ani thanda all na chugyo res dige gi ani semsor diki res all edi.
So in order to actually study whether or not it was a universal experience, the researchers went to Bhutan. They also went to Namibia, which is where this took place in Africa, and a couple other countries, but I don't remember which ones they were. And they went to people who have not had a lot of exposure to Western civilization.
Ta thanda Quran sugi ta chi sa jira mangche nyamshi ba din zu kol chir lawena duk da an ge kha mangbul chires an thanda di Namibia da ya ge kha mangbu juranga thing mendusa di kharlana thanda nupcho gi shugen shira malesa yora ge kha dige rignal chires.
And they described to them what awe was. So again, that feeling of vastness that changes how we view the world and our place in it.
Dila du ta ge chher ta simso di shi da di che an ngara sugi chik ta thanda jamling la ta dang laura jik den ta dang di gyo dre di chama sugi ros.
And they asked them if they had ever had an experience like this. And so these are the Himba, members of the Himba tribe in Namibia.
Di Quran so ta thanda Namibia na la loga yora tribe lan dinal an Himba le di rukhado di cha de res.
And one person from that tribe told them that yes, the first time he had ever seen an ostrich, he felt it was so unusual to him that it did make him feel expansive, and it did kind of change the way he saw the world.
Dilo du zamling la ta dang yo do shi da cho di dilo du ta pe sha na Namibia thanda Himba le mi chi Quran khari shir la na thanda cha ostrich da di tema thangbo thongdu korangi zamling la tadang gyua dos la jura chi gyake ro twe chwe chonang di lessons ani zamling la tadang gyua dos la jura di shi dos.
But they didn't stop there to see whether or not awe was a universal experience. They started, let's see here. They started looking at language and translation to see what words other cultures used to describe awe.
Tanda awe la jura simsur ani gyagap loga na la ani tanya khari peji chigi me ra khari gyuru me di samata res koran sui.
And what was interesting was there, similar to what we've just discovered here in this class, is that these particular cultures did not necessarily have a word that directly translated to what the researchers were calling awe.
The Quran sui tanda gyur sha gyu jura nyamshib ba she sha thangi jura di khadu ta tanda gyur tu yoran di tagda jla tu marwas Quran sui she di tagda sha yemedi.
So in Chinese, this is the word they gave, and they said that Chinese, it means respect and fear.
Ta tanda gyami den sui cha sha na ra Quran sui tanda gyur yora di tanda khari deshi gyur la wana khushab da shenang lani di sha res.
In the German language, they translated it as fear of nobility, so fear of high status of a person.
Dila duta kalor se to la ora da dindela dugola dila ani shinang do jura di korshi gures dinala Germany nala.
So kind of how a person might be fearful of, say, a king or a queen or something like that.
Dila duta shinang di khari da jan shigur la na mi to ayo sa di da jan shiguras da gyau da chumula shinang do shle jura dila jan shigures.
And in Russian, this translates as trembling.
Ta tanda Russia yora urusu di na Quran sui khandi gyur la na trembling nan darsi gya la ora dila yures.
And in Hindi, it translates as fear.
Ani gyaga tanda Hindi nala shinang la ni trans di gyur duas.
And then finally, in Hebrew, this translates as respect.
An thana shi Hebrew nala cha shoina kunzugi tanda khushab la ni gyur yures.
So interestingly, again, in all of these words, you're not really hearing what the Western definition is, or at least what the scientific definition is of awe. Instead, you've got these two themes of fear and status.
Ta tanda dinala ta khone do che an te shinang di chu dos mang chona ina nupcho ba she yo khari ba di takta chi gyu me di ta ga digyo mar tanda dina diu ina shinang che ani tanda susugi nedang laura di chagyo ros.
So then what they did was they did a study where they compared a group of students in China and a group of students in the United States.
Ta nyamshi ba khoran su ya shimju tanda rukha minra ni la chi res chik di khari char la ni ga loptu rukha res chik di khola kemi bugul chi res chik di ani ari loptu chi res.
And what they asked them to do, they did two studies with them. In the first study, they asked them to keep a daily diary, and at the end of every day, they asked them to write about an awe experience that they had during that day.
Ta Quran sul lubru den zu tanda suera ruga di sudu Quran sul khari lar lawaina nima ta bo susugi sin ninto jura di tisma an dinala thama del khari tiurlona Quran sul tanda all semso jura di khadu ke imejura di kortishish ma tislan sheres nima ta bo khunzu ninto tigures.
They also asked them to record what the emotions were that they experienced during that awe experience.
Ta semsor all di ke du ani Quran sugi subuda da samlo lagore semsor lagore di yaling handi chigume di ma tishi di tislani Quran sul la res.
And in China, what they found was that they often wrote about an experience with somebody who was of higher social status than them, so perhaps their boss or some sort of supervisor.
The Quran sugi tanda gemi lutu din zui mangche khari kor chiur launa all semso di kharil jar ur launa khone la pabe susu la thoa da ta gemba da susu gi da chigyora gemba da dige khone thoa yu di da jar gi res shinang da chini.
And the emotion that they associated with it was fear.
Ani semsor khari da jar ni Quran sugi tishi gyur launa shinang da tishi dili gyur res.
So instead, the students in the United States, they often wrote about being alone in nature.
Ari loptu din zu Quran sugi tishi khari gyur launa rangshung kham na susu chibu yo dili tishi gyur res.
And the experience actually elicited positive emotions, no fear.
Dila du ari loptu din zu Quran sugi da rumde khandi jur la du gala khaduna semsor ya ge shigyo res shinang kor shigyo mares.
And then in the second study, they had them watch a video of nature similar to what I showed you at the beginning of class.
Ta di chego thangbu di charwa sin di nyon to the di ani niwa di khari chir lawana kiran chol longi tyen so dinan shi khoran chol ta jures.
And in China, the response to that video, similar to what you watched this morning, was very high levels of fear and surprise.
Ta thanda gyana thanda gyami pu din chu khoran chu khari de shi gyagir lawana di ta sa jela hang sa da ani shena shu kyo den de shi gyres.
Whereas the U.S. students, they experienced amusement and also gratitude.
Thana shi khoran chu ari din cha shawana hang sa da ta khalore khari thin shi laure den de dojil shayres.
So the Western scientists wondered, well, is it possible that the Western students, the American students, were just suppressing any negative emotions that they might have had to the video?
The Quran zo thanda ari lobru dun sta oina sensor nyemba laura di taw kap sensor nyemba di man nem jo doj den de choyres.
So what they did was they hooked both groups of students up to heart monitors to measure their heart rate and other measures that would show their levels of anxiety and stress.
That lobru dun zo tagje chyo kap su ngang sap da semnye den de ki du mdu tela ningi pharse yora di ta tagi chini khun zo tagje chyo resti.
So you can see so this was Chinese students were fearful of the experience and American students were very happy. But interesting, so this was, after they hooked them up to monitors for their physiological response, this one is the American line and this is the Chinese line, and you can see that the nature video actually calmed the Americans down, but it made the Chinese students much more anxious.
Thengol to sa kemi lobru dun zo shinang ke oche ani ari lobru dun zo ki yo den de tyo ras andi thigri lama pa ba na khoran zo subu lubu gi lugam gi yalen chidan di ani thigri lama pa she restela di da du thig ngombush do di ari lobru go ji chagi res ani mau di kemi lobru jura di ge chagi res thanda ari lobru mach ta waina khachi yore da macha du gal lolo chawa ji tung res kemi lobru dun zo ya phar do di le do ngang sab da shinan da din de phar wa tung res.
So it's interesting. This study actually shows that we still have a tremendous amount to learn about awe and whether or not it is a universal experience.
Dila duta thanda all semsur jura di thola ani simju mangbu chi yo che ani thanda mi changme gi nyong yo yo mare lai di ta yo res.
And it's not that Chinese students wouldn't necessarily experience awe the way that Americans do.
Dila du thanda all semju chodan jura kemi da thanda ari lobru ni ta wana chodan loga dos.
But it could be that they just have a different understanding of it. Maybe something else would actually cultivate it within themselves. Again, these are questions that we haven't answered yet.
Dila duta dinzo thiwa dinzo ha de yores kunzu gi yana khari launa gyabjon ni tang da dinzo yora dila ta ni yamena ngaran zo ko logwa chleni tanda dishi yadan jura dinde yongsi ras dila du thiwa mangbu jil ha yores da tanda di nyamship chiyo kapsu.
So, any questions or thoughts or observations about any of these kinds of findings, any of these findings?
Ta tanda simju chin dinde nye lan mangbu shten sa dida dewe ni kiran zo thiwa dinde yores. Ari. Rangjung hamla. Shenanda. Nedan. So how did these two groups write it in a different way? Like the United States students, they mentioned that when they described it as something like happiness, like they're happy. And the Chinese student, they wrote it like they experience fear and anxiety. So what causes them to write in such different ways?
You know, and that's a really good question that I don't think researchers actually know. So I think what this kind of study shows is this just kind of gives us a baseline of where the research needs to go so that we can better understand. You can translate that and I'll explain.
Di tires lara di ani tiwa yabush tu di thanda ngaran so nyamshi chingi di shengi yo mares kharchini di thi me jura di la du thanda all di semsor jura di da de nga zo di nyamshi bla khari yarge tang go du sang chegi yo res 가르치나? So since the United States, you said like they are very free and independent, so maybe because of that background, they might have explained it in that way. They felt free and...
Right, yes. So what I would say to that is that you're thinking like a researcher, like a scientist, because research, these studies have to build on themselves, and so a researcher would look at this, the results of this study, and there may be 50 more questions that they have that they need to explore, and so they would continue to do research until they figure out what it is, why this difference exists.
다 계란기 단다 shedan jura 체르바 나시 삼로 당도 쉐이도스 디 체르바 딘 지고지 그냥 지요레스 다 단다 콘주 따지 제 지고라 심주 지도 갈라 딘데 신예스 레라 디 녀 점 지고 마레스 디 냠도 디다 제웨 저 ngapchu 스토리 요라야 저 망부 슈지 리요레스 딜라디 칼리 인데 체기 두요레스.
So, but I would say that you're probably on the right track, because personally, if I were the researcher doing this research, I would want to look at beliefs in terms of what our beliefs are about the world, because I think that it's probably grounded in that.
계란기 쇼나 싱아라기 딱 계싱아라 딘데스 냠십 치기요 아이나 계란 삼로 당다 도 당서레스 그런조 이제다 그런조 칸데 이메 주라 남주 디다 안살론 치단다 디 상모라니 시산 따서레스.
So, and I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning of class when I started talking about awe, the researchers have found that some people don't necessarily have an awe experience because they're not comfortable changing the way they think about the world.
그런조 이시 니니 시러스 냠시바 하시기 그런조 가르시려나 단다 셈솔 올라디 카시나 상만나 린지빈지 구구여라나 레고 캡기요 마레스 카는 미카시 커리어는 오니 커리어레 삼로 요어 땅도 메어 딘데 요르와스 딘데 인도 갈라 셈솔 올라디 콘솔고 캡기요 마레스.
Yeah, makes sense. Good question. Really good question.
좋아야고도스.
Yep. Anyone else?
안 좋아 심바여 디멤버. 디셈솔 두고츠스 간디질 샤유야. 그세우 차세.
Do you think that there's enough of an understanding of this to have them pair up and talk about an awe experience that maybe they had?
Okay.
I mean, because I'd like to actually take them to the back. I'd like to take them to the back and do a circle and just kind of do a little, a little activity with them. But I just want to make sure that there's enough of an understanding to be able to do that.
온딜라이 계란조 당고다 최고지 최고 삼송라 사셈솔 오다 데웨 디 치에 임바이나 올라나 간디질 라기메라 체르바딘조 간디질 샤기메 디 계란조 세오 셰스웰라 셈솔 간디질 샤기오디 세오 차세. So it's just positive one, right?
Yeah, it's just positive one.
Yeah, yagarang rest di.
Yes? Yeah?
Gyakeru tanglana yaga chala yora gyakeru tang ani samlo yuwa yaga cho tang lawara di yaga.
Yeah.
Di seo cha suelas tangmunye chegodi machingwala all idil khandijil lagi me hakugu yorwalas kiranju. Seo cha sa. So like we have many experiences in our life, so when you talk about awe, is it something that which changes our simgu lemba, which moves our heart?
Moves our heart. Yeah, it's not what they measured, it's more like our beliefs, but I think it does move people's heart because it makes them feel more connected to others. It makes them feel like we're more like one huge family.
심구테어 도 차기요를 시에 탄다 조디 탄다 어디 거릴 저기올라나 삼로 당당기 따와 주라 니 교테와 시기요 와스.
Makes sense? Yeah.
세우차셀라스디 삼로 교테와 딜르기요레스.
So can we try or do more
so
questions?
she has a question. 가리로 국교 정세 So can we give examples of all like two people, two persons, one person living in a tribal or area or like in a remote area, and one person who lives in a big city. So they have different exposures and different experiences.
Right. Yes.
So like the person who lives in a remote area won't be able to like communicate with other people and can't cooperate with others. Like they don't know how to deal with others. But the one who lives in the cities has like all these skills because he's living with many people already. So he has all these experiences. So can we give examples of all like that?
That's interesting. I don't know that I fully understand what she's trying to communicate. So if someone has more interaction with a person, then they're going to have a different experience of awe, or they're going to.
So what she's saying is like the one who is living in a remote area, like he's not exposed to many things.
Oh, right, yes.
So for him, it's difficult to change his mind when compared to the other one who is living in a big city.
Okay, yes. So what I would say is that I think both people could easily change their mind, but I think what actually induces awe in those two people is going to be different because their environment is different.
Samlo yuathe lejura nigal yunguras dila dugal ine yuathe korani la yuathe dang di logati yuras khala na khola hangsa da jik tanda o swale sonang lejura di ke loga yongsir thana shi khola ke loga yongsiras yuathe niga yuathe yures.
So for example,
so
for example, in ostrich, a person in the United States would not find seeing an ostrich an awe experience. The kelam pesun rora chi gasal dingela ta arina dinge do chai roalas arina dinge ari mi dizugi anda dicha ostrich di thone hangsa ke yo mares kunjo thanda o sonang ji do li semso diki yo mares kunjna. And then if you look at this, a person in the United States would not feel awe by a boss or a supervisor.
Thana chi ari do cha shawno korangi da Koran la gemba da dindi yora kone to ayusa dindi la shinang do da chik yusenang do chik yora dindi yo mares arinang la.
And then if you let me go back to this. Okay, so then if you look at this, like for instance, when I came here, about a week ago, and I saw the mountains, we don't have I mean, yes, we have mountains in the United States, but but mountains like that are so spectacular and so magnificent that for me, that is an awe experience. But for all of you, for those of you who live here, that may not be an awe experience for you because you see them every single day.
That peshanachi kharcha lana Koran arini Koran lungba jura gyasa del chashoina ridinde ning ju in yomares chezan dharamsala theman hambole du gala ring ju shu thonsos di thon acham ge thadangara ogi nyongwa jura dikesons.
So, and similar, like this is, to me, this art is spectacular and awe-inducing as well, but it may not be to all of you because you're used to this kind of art.
Dila dita thanda di mandal dira mandala dita oina mazu ngaran rocha shone di ning ju che thanda ogi nyongwa shida di lidos kiran zu imba na takwa thong dejra thanda di ogi nyongwa di ling marwas.
So, does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Dila de seucha suesa.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. Did you have a question also? Yes.
Simsur di sangma la ki yorwes. Okay la. So what are the factors which causes this experience of awe in a person?
What are the factors? It differs from person to person. So one person may have this experience from nature, but another person may not. One person may have it from art, and another person may not. But it's going to be different from person to person.
Ta ogi nyonga di khandes ki re la jora kirangi di la dugala sangma le tumongi dende chi ki re la tuen yo mares ta chashon mi re la loga chai ras khashe la khari la na rangjung ta wa chamgi thanda ogi nyonga di le ta kheran zo ina li king maras di kela peju shaso khron to ina ki yores dina shi guzel ta ta ina su namju thong de yim baina mi digela thanda ogi nyonga di ling maras ta dinde chi thong ma nyong ge sawash le ina khron la thanda di nyonga di o la di ki yores.
And part of the experience may be the novelty of it. You know, how new it is that you've never seen anything, you've never experienced anything like this before. Interestingly, when I ask people in my workshops back in the United States what has induced awe in them, from the women who are mothers, they often tell me that childbirth, the experience of childbirth, is awe-inducing to them. Not necessarily while you're in it, because it's so painful, but afterwards, when you have this magnificent human being that came out of you, that is an awe experience for them.
Nyamchu chinge dinjul keje thiyoina phimeri mangche khari shi launa ogi nyongwash da pu getsas ka du khari resusu lagbal pu diragra di ani radu gala ani nyongwash ki yora di ani ogi nyongwa di keslan like koraz tishi din ge dus.
Yeah, so interesting experience. Okay. Okay, so I would imagine we can actually have them talk with each other about what that is. So why don't we go ahead and we'll close with this last activity. So if we want to go to the back of the room and we'll stand in a circle.
Tadi thama do chagi rest chego tadi khari lana chama namju go swejwa di rangja seru chis. When she was 15 years of age, she went on for a pilgrimage, and that time we entered a cave. So while entering the cave, it's like we have to bend down and enter the cave. And after entering the cave, it was like I got the experience of awe because like it was on like 30-story building kind of. Before when we went inside, we have to bend down, but after like coming out of the cave, it was like it was on a high altitude.
Oh, right,
so
yes.
That gave me an awe experience.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, that sounds lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share?
Then Quran saw Shimbasu yes Karigi? Tembala. So she said a documentary on Buddha. She watched a movie about Buddha, and that time, like one person tries to harm Buddha, and he explains to him like, okay, we are living in the same world and we breathe the same air. If you throw our like dust or garbage up, it will fall down upon you. So they were asking, where is the experience? She said, it's there. So what experience she received is like there's like nothing like a high caste or low caste. Everybody is equal. So that gave me an awe experience.
Ah, wonderful. Did you guys? I'm sorry. I heard you're both trying to listen. Did you guys hear that?
Okay, sorry. So what she said was she watched a documentary on Buddha, Lord Buddha, and in that one person tries to harm Lord Buddha, and he explains to him like, so since we are living in the same world, we breathe the same air, and if you throw a garbage up in the air, it will fall back upon you. So if you harm others, like we are all same, and there is no differences like caste or anything. We are all equal. So that gave her awe experience.
So that's an experience of a grand idea that gives you awe.
Diladu samsu ne chashawaina antada ogi nyonga dile ros koranla.
All right, so we're going to close the Science of Happiness class with one of the most beautiful aspects of happiness, which is gratitude.
Tatanda anzu digi korla ta lupchi chi deura dita thama du le deura stadi jugdum chiya gap suchi khari korshi lana gratitude ka ji theshe dira pensem do di chagyo res.
And while gratitude is so gratitude often feels like just such a simple thing that we do every day, you know, saying thank you to someone that did something for us. What the researchers have found is that it actually is an extraordinarily powerful act and emotion.
Dila dita ngaran su nam ju jundegi chidang azu tik phajo di sula chik chiwa na phala thuche la da dindi jora dige rigi ani nyongwa da da chornang jili yora di chu yores.
So does gratitude translate?
Ta thanda di jurjo de se ucha solas kati samshi gi da gawa ke jora di lagi yores.
Being grateful, yes. Yeah. What did she say?
Are you talking about awe?
No, I'm talking about gratitude. No, we're done.
Gratitude.
All right. So, but gratitude translates
Chongsar da lo phajola. Oh, ni gratitude lale sir.
being grateful for something or someone.
The katin theshe katin samshish do chigla samay di dil lagi res gratitude lana.
Yes, yeah. Okay. All right. So so to start off gratitude with just a playful fun little game. We call this gratitude ball. It's very, very simple. Go ahead.
Ta thanda di katin theshe da dewe ani thanda chegoji che yin stimu ju res and di thanda katin theshe gi thanda polo lan shagi yes mingdala chimudula.
And the way that it works is if you would like to say to the class something that you are grateful for or some person that you're grateful for, you just stand up and I'll throw you the ball and you say what you're grateful for, and then if someone else wants to say what they're grateful for, they stand up and they get the ball and they get to say it, and we'll just do it. Not everybody has to do it. It's only if you feel like standing up and saying something you're grateful for.
Dila duta khari la katin theshe chogu yome jora so di ani thanda polo chik yu ekap so ani di theshe khirang zo shegu res mi chik yugura dijela an khorang gi chik she dijela yan shemba su rawen yan khorang gi shemba ji she indi chini chik jel chik du res.
Okay? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to start. I'll start. So I am deeply, deeply, deeply grateful for the experience to have been with you this past week and to have met all of you. It has been such an incredible privilege, and I am so grateful for it.
The gela khora kadi theshe khari da treni shigyo lawena khiran zo changma tuje tangwa che ani khiran zo changma la da kadin che len shue jora di dan te ani thambo go chu di shigyo yes gela khora inyo di di.
So can I throw the ball to anyone else want to stand up and say something they're grateful for?
The gela khora ikadi theshe khande me di she so di dina shi shemba shinge deba us khiran zo yo ne pole di us.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
So I feel grateful for you because you left, like you sacrificed all your time and your work over there and came here to teach us. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to say something they're grateful for?
The Quran gi jala shimba su shindu.
Okay. Get to stand up.
Ya shandas. So I'm grateful because I feel grateful towards you because you taught us not just an ordinary subject, but it's a very important subject which is closely connected to Buddhism, and through experiments and all these researches, you have shown how important these values or these emotions are.
Ah, wonderful. Okay.
And it also made us happy to learn all this.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
So I feel also grateful about His Holiness because because of His Holiness we are able to join such workshop and are able to learn all these important things.
Wonderful. Okay, good. Thank you. There's more.
Karire? I'm also grateful to our sponsors who, because of them, we are able to run such workshops and we are able to learn such things.
Oh, wonderful. Great. Anyone else? Over here? Did you? Throw it if you like.
She has goosebumps.
See? Not just when you're cold.
So she said, you said you feel grateful to them, but it's nothing like that. We feel grateful to you and all the teachers who have taught us, and including Bryce and the translators and all the staff who worked throughout this workshop. So since this is a month-long workshop, but it seems like it's for a few days, so it went so fast, and all the things we have learned, we are very grateful to you for all this. We cannot express it through words.
Very, very sweet. Thank you.
미상마라 땡땡 받쳐야 레스라 찍을 때네라 나 가오요 두요 록동라 이니 나 찍찍을 때네 중요하지 않은 가지고 있는데 상경은 신고를 시고레스라 다정원에 임바도라는 가는
So in Buddhism we talk about interdependence. So there's nothing like which comes from within. So you have to depend on others, and everybody is interconnected. So we got to know about this.
Ah, lovely. And you know what's interesting about the research with gratitude, particularly in the West, where people don't have this idea of interconnectedness, is that what they're finding is that gratitude does bring people together. It's one of the most powerful ways to connect people.
다 단다 눕초라 단다 펜주 되어 주라 디카고 차되어라스 디라도 단다 가진 텐시시도 디소아들리도 이니 파주 되어 야 용구 레스토랑에서 나올라.
So again, we have so much to learn from all of you, and I think the West owes a deep debt of gratitude to what all of you do and your ancient teachings.
디라도 눕초니 아니 케란솔 가진 텐시 치고에 차기 레스 케란솔이 망부 쉬우지 장에 하 레스 해야 되는데.
Yes. All right. One more person? Anyone else?
다 타마 미직 케란솔 신도 유에서 케란솔 나올니.
Anyone else want to see? If they don't, that's okay.
맨에 케말 유에서.
Okay. All right. So we only have about 15 minutes or so.
다 까마 종아 스토지 하도스. 셰베. 뭐래? Okay, she's saying nothing to say.
She has nothing to say?
Yeah.
No, okay, that's totally.
She me love ya lang ju. Don't ho. Ni yo mar le du lain da. Where to start and where to end, she's saying.
She's what?
Where to start and where to end.
Oh.
난 다이 수비라 인켈라티라 치비나히 상만나지 배 칼로다 니마 sabjo mabudrati yange khashi sawaraya da ani khalarta khashi chimbashi yera dejechi dan pe rasons.
So I'm grateful to Bryce and all the teachers, and I've been to many workshops and I've learned many new things, and also it refreshed my memories about what I have learned. So I'm grateful to all of you.
Oh, wonderful. Good.
다 미세기다 고속식이다 아니 아주게 자치 아주니 시다 미세 제요 마라 네 그런 좀 미세라 차올람도 요하다 네 몰람게
So there's nothing more to say, so I can say to have a successful and happy life.
Thank you. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, so the way that that researchers define what gratitude is it's this feeling of reverence for things that are given.
Tandilata tanda kadin tinshigi gaojura di khandiji layor ledo shingi ani jimba sola ani irangi choake jura dila layor rasi.
And in particular, it's for things or for people, things that people do for you that aren't necessarily deserved or earned. They're more like gifts that are given to us.
Dila duda chigla dindeji ragiyore yomare la jura di keje shigi yomaras kol topgiyore yomare di khalna nyemba do chagiyores shimbaji susul teona shi.
So in terms of why gratitude actually matters, so one of the things that the researchers have discovered, which I think you probably already know, is that gratitude strengthens our social ties, our ties with each other.
Ta kadin tinshigi gaojura digi ani kechumbu khajin chagiyore ngoni chikshesa ros dinde so diyo ina khachigre phasu phinju dewa yaga yungu ros.
It cultivates an individual's sense of interconnectedness, how we're all connected.
Diladu susu da shimpara dewa khandi yome chigyora di delam ko lan so shukche ke tu ros.
The second thing that researchers have discovered is that gratitude actually increases our self-worth, so our feeling that we're valuable people.
Tanesta susu girin thang laureda dinde yoaj di sonang dia pelgi res kisi kati tinshi chioina.
And the way that it does this is the fact that somebody did something for you, that they sacrificed their time. Obviously, that means that they care about you. There's a certain love for you, and when we feel that someone cares about us, that helps us know that we are actually valuable people.
Dila du chik khari juni ha ko la na phajo di ta susu chik chewa ina kuran zui tujo da changma shani ani susu la ta chamje ro tyungyu ras di ro bo chewa na shiru cha chewa ina dila du gala susu khechimbu imba laore da susu rinha yo adin de ani phajo di susul chi yo di thanda chabat chewa tin tingyu adi seu cha hu ras.
And so what they've also discovered is that this can actually change a person who has a depressed depressed view of life.
Tanashi midi da tanda mise da dinde thola ta da nyamba laure da dinde da nyimbe cha ro laura depress la dinde do jo ina dila khachi re khoran zui ta dan dila ya ga cha che dinde josh tang yu res.
Because what gratitude does is it forces a person to abandon a belief that may accompany depression, which is that the world is not filled with goodness, the world is not filled with love or kindness.
Dila duta susu zamning jira di ani di saja di yapu yo mare ta dinala khalor cham da ningje da dinde yo mare la jira dige samlo di ani yo tang yu res.
That the world is just filled with randomness and cruelty.
Dilu ta zamning dikhare duga kyang kheng dure thagana she ni ngeme re la jura ta dugja khe de ani khali khali thanda kadin thising juni kyo dugu res digerik di.
So by expressing gratitude for somebody or something they did for you or for something, they start to realize that no, actually there is kindness in the world, there is love in the world, and it can radically change how a person feels about the world and alleviate that depression.
Chizakari theshe dinde number den to ina kharchi la na mi gi ta dang jura susu zamning ta dang di khali khali kyo dugu res.
So some of the benefits of gratitude is that, as usual, gratitude actually helps us feel happier.
Tanda kadin theshe go di phe khari la na chikta ha ura susu kibru chorgu ras.
Gratitude also makes us feel more generous because somebody did something for us. We feel that we want to give to others as well.
Thana she ani kadin theshe di nyong di le oina phajula tanda jimba ta da dinde yungu ras.
Gratitude also increases our sense of compassion for others because we feel cared for. We want to be able to care for others as well.
Thanish karin theshe chuana susu la da phaju di chewa tiyo dinde le du gala susu imi shimbala thana shi chigruas.
In addition to that, gratitude, we're happier, we're healthier, we have better relationships.
Tanda kadin theshe tanda nyong dinde nyong ina khari re ki ba che thana she ni mi shinda da susu nang mi da chwa ki mi da khari na thobo thomo nyam dewa ya ga dinde yungu res.
We also sleep better and we're also more patient, interestingly.
Ni ya bu khutu res an thana she ni soba go me da dinde ya ga res.
So how gratitude actually works, so how do these benefits actually come about?
Ta tanda kadin theshe jura di ka de ni keben khari la jura khari chigyor la di chagyor ras.
So one of the ways it does it is when we have a positive experience, people who tend to be grateful for that experience, what they're doing is they're magnifying the positivity of that particular experience. They're really savoring and noticing what is wonderful and good and beautiful about that experience.
Ta nyong ya ga jikke wa ina ro di an kadin theshe gyuni phaju dila di tujina do jila wa ina khaji la wa ina tanda ya ga cha jura di khaju la na ya pelgi ros khali khali.
They also, so this is, savoring experiences, they also tend to have a more positive outlook on life as well because they're trying to see the good in experiences rather than the bad.
Thanishta kadin theshe chiwa na di nyong gyuni kharchi la na susu mize ta dang jura di la kheba sugres. Khadu ne ya ga kyang che ro la ra khadu ne ya ga chol tai res kurangi.
They also are less likely to take things for granted because they recognize that the things that happen to us and what people do for us, those are gifts that are given to us.
Dilo dat mi susu la che jura dige sama ya ga che thong sama ta nyembal la chaga na shi tinde roji lingi res kurangi.
So then, in terms of why someone might not be grateful, they've thinking about Western culture and how it works.
Ta khashe la di thanda kadin theshe ga jura ki me di korshi ge ros.
So, and one of the things, one really fascinating study that was done in the 1980s found that American men were actually less likely to feel grateful than men from Germany.
Dila du karin theshe gi thanda chwa la ora nyong jura ari mi da Germany mi jura di durwaina ari mi la nyong ni res.
And the reason they think that this is the case is because in the West often gratitude might make you feel like you're indebted to another person, that you owe somebody something.
다 단다 가딘 텐실 라두고라 노초날 따당 한디타기 울라나 파조 미딜라 직 제우요나 시직 제우요나 시 딘데로지 소우레스.
So, and Americans, and particularly American men, often there's this idea that we are self-sufficient, that we can just take care of ourselves, that we don't need other people, that we don't depend on other people.
아리날 따주 따와치 커리어라오나 나라주 라와 슈레 나라랑기 치투레 심벌 땡고 메레줘라 디따와디 슈크심부 차디오레스.
So there's this assumption that we are totally responsible for any good that actually happens to us.
딜라도 아니 코란솔 직 야부 중화이나 나라랑기 치니다 야부 중교를 내줘라 디따와디 차기오레스 아리날.
That we've earned it, that we deserve it, that sort of thing, that we don't really owe anything to anybody.
딜라두디 야가 중에디 나라랑기 준션이 라교레 내줘라 신라 키고치도 고멜라 디시기오레스 파주 심벌 키고치 치웨요 마르슬란디 따와디 키기오레스.
So this is why gratitude, particularly the research on gratitude, is such a powerful concept in the West, is because it's starting to break down this idea of self-sufficiency. It's starting to make people realize, oh, I didn't become successful all on my own, that there were other people involved who actually helped me.
jelला thanda di tawachdo khali khali jo du res arinal an khashi khari lana ta mizel amnon ju jo ri jora khoran sui khari shigur lawana ta di changma ngara jo shawre lan ngara chibul rali go mares tinyam do mi mangbu chu de res la jora ngara lamnon jo di shigur res tawa di khali khali jo du res.
So some of the roadblocks, some of the things that keep people from feeling grateful is materialism.
Sorry,
materialism.
Okay, chik dikhar lan ta gyu penju da dinzu yora digerigi genchik di chagyo resta karin tenshe somalej dati.
Also this really hyper sense of individualism, that it's all about me.
Chikla du nga rang lanita tinde rang samlo tang dingich do di kengi yungu res ker so lan.
And also this idea of time, again in the West, we're always constantly so rush, that we don't have time to stop and be grateful.
Chik tanda karin tenshe somalej yora nyungwa di khajin ligyo marlauna tuzu kaduna ta ari rocha shauna tuzu madang che kaduna chewach chela subsub resmi sama.
So the researchers who have actually studied gratitude, one of the ways they study it is they do interventions. So for instance, they might have a group of people keep a gratitude journal for 6 weeks and see what the effects of that actually are.
Tila duda koran zo shimju nyamship chira digapsu thanda sindi gya jua karin tensha de de di ani dunda thuks ringa koran sti ani dig jel ya tagyo res.
So they'll ask a group of people to write down 3 things that you are grateful for 1 time a week, and do that for 6 weeks.
Taanashi dunda thuringa chidigyor la ra di che di kharir lana kiranzo ta karin tension da dewe da nisu nidun sum tis lani koranzul tijugo res and di dunda thuringa du res di.
And prior to actually doing the gratitude journal, the first thing they do is they have them take a survey that asks them about things like their health, how do they sleep, how happy do they feel, how much do they exercise, kind of their whole emotional and mental and physical state.
Thangbo nyamship machi kon la koranzu nyamship chi chigyo res ra thande tachi di machi kon la dina ani koranzu gi kiran kiblu khaga suye ni naza yoela yorada dige samma ke chigyo res di nyamship dina.
But in addition to giving, so let's say, for example, this is the person who is being experimented on. Instead of giving just him a survey, they also give family members a survey as well, asking about how happy and helpful is this person in your family.
Tila dita thanda taji chigir la sa ruga ruga sen di sudu gala kisi taji chisa khora imba ina miji partuen da khora imba ina khora da keje thia imba ra nyamship na thia imba che ko kiblo khaga sume da nazo me di samata ir ra thiodi thana shi khorangi nangmi ra khoran chulai ke ji tires ko namju mi kiu dinge ji re endelan ya thiodi ne tangyu res nangmi samsu ya du res tina.
So they'll give that pre-survey, and then they do the actual intervention, which is oftentimes a gratitude journal.
Dila du dida dewen jela kharchi launa taji di chyo gapsu chyo da intervention di gapsu kharchi launa khorangi thanda karin tension da dewen ni su thi la jura di ani ko zu res sinti ya di.
And then once the 6 weeks are up, they'll give a post-survey, and they give the survey again to the individual who received the intervention and also to the family members.
Ta taji che khorang cha cha ra dunda thudi cha cha jelya thanda nyamship thiyo jura rangja Quran che an thang na shi Quran nang mi din zul thik res.
And what they have found is the person who had the intervention reports a lot of positive benefits, but interestingly, the family members as well, without knowing what the experiment is, they also report that the family member became happier, became more helpful.
Dilado ani Quran la da thanda nyamshi thanda taji di che sa yela chu di che sa yela Quran kibru yo adin de ji Quran gi shi res nyamshi nan thang na ji Quran ji bu mai ba ni nang mi shimba din zo yora di ani Quran zu ki ba da ani roba ya ga che thoya da din de kor shi res.